Okay, welcome back to another update, and as you can see I have done the plaster cloth and the plastering on top of that to fill in some of the lines and so it doesn't look so square, because I cut some of the plaster cloth into small strips and I didn't want that to be showing through when I do the static grass. So there we have what I've done. There's a few drops that spilt where I didn't fully protect the landscape, but that's not an issue. I'll just either apply new static grass on top of that or some bushes and get rid of that white colour. So it's not a big issue. I do need to cut out the plaster around here so that this buffer sits flat with the track level there. I am going to create a small rock wall along here, not all the way across, just maybe one or two patches where the rock shines through, very similar to, if I take you across here, to what I did here and here. So that's what I'll do there. This is the section that I mentioned in my last video. I'm still undecided on what I want to put here. I've been looking for all sorts of rural type buildings, small churches, etc., but I just can't find anything that I actually like at the moment or is suitable. So I'm in no great rush to do this bit, so I can just wait until I see something that I actually think will be good for the whole scene here. I also filled in this little bit. Again, that's just all going to get painted, and then static grass applied, some trees and other bits and pieces of scenery. Around here I need to work out the road, the yard here near the goods platform. Will probably just be some dirt, gravel type area, and then leading off past the back of this signal box to join the main road that's here. And here I'll just paint a grey black tar looking colour to mimic the road around here to the car park, and again the other small freight shed that's actually attached to the station here. And then I've got my farmhouse building over here, which will blend into the landscape. I'm not quite sure which direction it will face, whether it'll face that way or have it facing this way. I will obviously be placing that level on the landscape, and either cutting out a little bit of the plaster to ensure that, or raising it up at the other end. And here, as I said before, there's going to be some trees, bushes. I am going to create a pathway leading from this other side of the station, the platform, that will wind its way up for hikers or something like that. So just give a bit of interest to that section. I do have a very small footbridge that I showed in one of my previous videos, a laser cut kit from Noch, which I think I could incorporate into this area here. I just have to cut out a little bit of the landscape to make a little gully, little rut in the landscape that would justify a little bridge and pathway that would cross it. So something to think about. I'm not sure if I can't remember if I showed this or not, but I did put some ballast down here So this whole section is now ready for some static grass. That will be the next stage. One thing I will say, the weather has been very good the last week or so, and as is always the case this time of the year, it becomes very hot up here in the loft to do the work on the layout. So I may actually not do as much when it's warm weather. I do have other things to do as well. I did this while it was warm because this dried out incredibly quickly because of the heat. But the rest of it is uncomfortable to work up here. And also when I'm doing the static grass and the PVA, that tends to dry very quickly, I found from experience when I did previous sections. I think it was over here when it was warm weather. So I either did that on a cooler day so that I've got more time to work with the glue before it sets. Up here again, trees, just to blend in with these trees here and make it seamless. And that's about it for the time being. The next stage is I'm going to paint this all a brown earth colour, similar to that. It's just a mixture that I make up myself with some acrylic paints that I have, and that way when I do the landscaping, grass, trees, etc., if I miss any small bits, you don't see the white showing through. And that's about it. Just checking here. Yeah, this is all dry. I just need to tidy up a little bit on the edges of the ballast here where I spilt some plaster. There's a little drop there, but that's okay. Once that's completely dry, in fact it's probably dry enough right now, I can just brush that away and you'll never notice it. I do have to weather the track sections here anyway, so once I do that, you won't see that at all. And then, speaking of ballasting, I've still got the other side of this track to do. The point, the crossing, and all the way up to the two tracks at the station, and then that should complete the ballasting for this new section. And then it's just landscaping afterwards. So here we are with some more progress. As you can see, I've painted the ground my usual brown colour mix, ready for static grass. Here's a close-up of the platforms and how I've integrated the landscape around that. And the same over here on the freight shed and the siding. And I've started painting the rock wall, rock face, with a grey tone. Still need to continue with that. But I think you can see from the view that it's coming along very nicely, looking good. And once the grass and other scenery is added, it'll be have that real rural station feel to it. Just again a close in of the platform. I've still got the ballasting to do on the station platform edge and fill in some other little gaps that need to be done, which I'll be doing very, very shortly. And then just the road to complete as well that leads up to the station. What I've also done is started removing the rolling stock from the layout. A lot of the work that I've been doing recently is very dusty, so I do need to give the whole layout a clean. The rolling stock that you see left at the moment are those that I don't actually have boxes for. These were the items that I bought didn't come with any boxes, so I'll have to pack them away carefully, separately. Yes, for the continuation of the rock faces, first wash, etc. I've just, well, I've been doing that, just been running some of the other engines in rolling stock that I don't have boxes for, just around the layout. It's looking good when it goes through that cutting under the bridge. A really nice sweeping curve on the main line there. So very pleased with how that's coming along. I still have these double slips at this entrance to the main station to remove, similar to what I did on the exit. So that'll have to wait until I've done the landscaping first, and then I can work on some of these other smaller projects that I still need to do. One thing I have noticed, as I said, it's the layout's dusty, etc. Will have to be thoroughly cleaned and vacuumed to avoid running errors, stalls by some of the smaller engines. And here I've actually started the ballasting of the rest of the branch line by the crossing and tidying up some of the bits and pieces on the branch line where it wasn't exactly the way I wanted it. And you can just about see there the rock face is coming along nicely. Just another engine running through. As I said, I've been running them while I've been doing the work, just to keep the tracks clean, because I do find that when you run the engines, they do keep the tracks clean from dust. And here's that same engine and wood stake wagons running through the branch line now. So all looking very good. The farmhouse has just been placed in that area there, just for me to get an idea of what it would look like with a building in that location. It's not going to be a farmhouse that's going to be there. The farmhouse is going to be on the other side of the station. I'm still not entirely sure what building I want there. Some sort of church maybe, or rural inn, something of that sort. Here's a continuation of the rock faces. Started doing the weathering and washing on it. And here's another view of that engine going through the branch line. So that's it for the time being. The next stage is the continuation of the landscape as and when the weather permits. As I've said, it's extremely hot in the loft at the moment. I find that the glue is going off very quickly, so I'm not able to work at the slow pace that I like. But we'll see how I get along. Hope you've enjoyed this, and see you next time.